Hello, everybody. This is Joe from PrepAgent. I hope you're having a good Saturday morning as the weekend is getting started. And today we're going to go over vocabulary. Remember to have your settings in 720 HD so it comes in as clear as possible. Okay, now keep in mind we're doing vocabulary today. We like to do those on Saturdays because that is the foundation of everything. You guys need to know your vocabulary. It's the first thing you should learn and the last thing you should review. At PrepAgent, we believe that vocabulary is the fundamental for passing the exam, which is why we have many ways to learn vocabulary. We have the worksheet, which you could print out and you could fill out. We have that vocabulary sheet, which a lot of definitions are listed there. We have the flashcards, and we have the vocabulary practice quiz that you see on the board. I say many times, do not do questions until you have your vocabulary mastered. Everybody got that? Do not do exam questions until you have the vocabulary mastered. If you do exam questions without knowing your vocabulary, it'll be an exercise in frustration. Everybody got that? Okay, so I want to repeat that. Do not do exam questions until you master your vocabulary. Okay, so where's everybody from this morning? Everybody list your state. California, New York, Florida. Where we got people from? And as always, because we have people from all the country, the stuff I'm going to review applies to everybody. I'm not going over state-specific stuff here. We're going over stuff that applies to everybody no matter where you are. The state-specific stuff we're going to leave out for obvious reasons. Ooh, people from everywhere. Okay, so with that being said, let's look at the first one on the board. What is the voluntary relinquishment of rights of ownership or another interest? A, novation, B, accession, C, affirmation, or D, abandonment? Okay, the answer is D, abandonment. Okay, good. The condensed history or title to a particular parcel of real estate consisting of a summary of the original grant and all subsequent conveyances and encumbrance affecting the property. A, plottage, B, lien, C, accession, or D, abstract. What do you guys think? Okay, and the answer is abstract. So basically an abstract is a summary. It's a summary. Good. Do we all know what a lien is? What is a lien? Who knows what a lien is? What is a lien? What do you guys think? What's a lien? A lien is money owed. It is also an encumbrance. Nice job, Silva. Okay, and lien is when you owe money. Good. There are two types of liens, specific liens and general liens. Can you guys name for me a specific lien? Give me an example of a specific lien. Give me an example of a specific lien. Mechanics lien is specific lien. Coco Nina says taxes. Are taxes specific or general? Are taxes specific or general? Are taxes specific or general? What do you guys think? It depends. Nice job, Mike Hoons. All right. It is a general lien if it's income tax, and it's a specific lien if it's property tax. Everybody got that? What does it mean when you say general? What does that mean? What does it mean when you say general? a general lien? It generally means you could go after all the property you own. Specific lien means they go after one thing specifically. Like when you get a loan on your house, that's specific lien. And if you don't pay it, they could take your house. They can't go into your bank accounts, your assets, your cars, or things of that nature. It's specific to the property. A measure usually of land equal to 160 square rods or 43,560 square feet in any shape. A board foot, B, plottage, C, acre, or D, a lot. What do you guys think? Okay, and the answer is acre. That's an easy one on our exam, right, guys? 43,560 square feet. If your screen is blurry, just change the settings to 720 HD. It's on the bottom right of the window there. And you click the little gearbox, change 720 HD, and it'll be more clear for you. The addition to land by action of water is known as accession, appropriation, accretion, or avulsion. What do you guys think? And the answer is accretion. What is avulsion? Who knows what avulsion is? Anybody know what avulsion is? Avulsion? What is avulsion? Avulsion is sudden tearing away of the land by acts of water. Good. A method of obtaining ownership rights by open, notorious, exclusive, and hostile possession of private real property for a statutory period which varies from state to state from 5 to 30 years. A, adverse possession, B, prescription, C, accretion, or D, accession. Okay, answer is A, adverse possession. Good. Those things which enhance the enjoyment and therefore the value of real estate but are not necessary for its intended use. Examples, a scenic view, a swimming pool, etc. A, amenities, B, puffing, C, turnkey, or D, plottage. And the answer is A, amenities. What is puffing? Who knows what puffing is? Who here can tell me what is puffing? What is puffing? Puffing's exaggerating. It is exaggerations. It is gross exaggerations. Who knows what plottage is? Plottage. What's plottage? What is plottage? So very often I describe plottage by saying 1 + 1 = 3. Nice job, Trina Jeffries. Okay, it's when you combine two things individually, they are worth more together than they were separately. A circle or semicircle around the Earth in a north and south direction, always touching or passing through the poles, uses a guide in surveying, being placed 24 miles apart and running from the baseline. A, baseline, B, meridian, C, tier, or D, range line. Okay, the answer is meridian. Good. Meridians run north and south, baselines run east and west. One who for a fee brings together a borrower and a lender and handles the necessary applications for the borrower to obtain a loan against real property by giving a mortgage or deed of trust as security. A mortgage broker, B, a trustor, C, a lender, or D, a beneficiary. And the answer is A, mortgage broker. Do you guys remember your OREE rule? Who could tell me the OREE rule? It's that suffix that we learned in elementary school. What do you guys think? Got to dust off those books from 4th grade. What's that OREE rule? OR is the giver, EE receives. OR is the giver, EE receives. So who is the lessee? Who is a lessee? Who is the lessee? Who is the lessee? Okay, they're the tenant, they're the person renting, they're receiving that property. Who is the vendor? Who is the vendor? Who is the vendor? They are the seller. Good, they're given that property. Who is the mortgagor? Who is the mortgagor? It's also the trustor. Who's the mortgagor or trustor? It's the same person. They're the borrower. They're the borrower. So the mortgagor or trustor is the borrower. What are they giving? If they have the OR, then what are they giving? Just remember, so the borrower, trust, or the mortgagor, excuse me, the mortgagor or trustor is the borrower. So they're an OR. So what are they giving? They are giving that promissory note. That promissory note. Okay, so I say it many times. It drives me nuts when teachers say it's an exception to the rule with a mortgagor or mortgagee. It's not an exception. It's a suffix. It's the English language. They just forget that before you can receive money, you need to give that promissory note. That promissory note serves as the evidence of the debt for the loan. Everybody got it? Give me a thumbs up. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you got that. Or just write, got it. How many of you guys had teachers that said that's an exception to the rule? Any of you guys have it? If you had teachers who said it's an exception to the rule, tell them that there's no exceptions to grammar. It's a suffix. Okay, here we go. Did anybody feel like good grammar is a lost art these days, which is kind of ironic because we're always writing emails and whatnot? I'll tell you guys this. I've learned in doing real estate and business, the moment somebody doesn't write a decent email with at least basic grammar, I immediately do not do business with them. Very little tolerance for that. I accept little errors here and there, which is fine. We all make them, and we all can be casual, but we all have our limits too, right, guys? Okay, here we go. A term in popular urban renewal referring to a rundown area, excuse me. A, avulsion, B, regression, C, obsolescence, or D, blighted area. I do a lot of volunteer work with kids in the community, and the first thing I tell them if they want to get a job or move ahead in life is don't talk to the person you're applying the job with as if they're your friend. Write in proper grammar. They're not your friend. And you guys have kids who write emails and you're just like, did you guys go to school? Okay, as for the one on the board, it's a blighted area. Blighted area. Trying to make sure the kids can get jobs when they get a little older, so got to teach them those things. And for me, it's a pretty basic thing. Okay, blighted area. Okay, forcing one to do that which he would not voluntarily do. A, duress. B, usury. C, blockbusting. Or D, surrender. And the answer is duress. Good. Okay, so duress. What is duress? What is that? So we're kind of looking at a definition on the board here. So what is it? What is duress? What do you guys think? It's when you're forced to do something you don't want to do. Okay. Ooh, hold a gun to my head. Wow, Coco, that's a little extreme, right? All right. So when you have duress, does that make the contract void or voidable? Does that make the contract void or voidable? Void or voidable? That makes it voidable. Why is that voidable? As Coco gave the example, somebody's putting a gun to your head. That's horrible. That's extreme. There's a gun to your head. How is that not void? So somebody holds a gun to your head and says, buy the house, buy the house, buy the house, or I'm going to shoot. That's an extreme, horrible thing. So how is that not voidable? Void, excuse me. Nice job, Mike. Because you still have a choice. You may like it. Exactly. You may say like, hey, relax, psycho. I still want this house. Put the gun down. Their crazy behavior and their pressuring you and their horrible tactics should not take away your ability to get this house. So you may like the house. The fact they're acting crazy should not take away your right to go get the house. Okay? That's why it's voidable. You still have that option. Another example of a voidable contract. You want to buy a house and you sign for a red house. You show up, the house is blue. They told you it was red. They said it was red, but it's blue. They straight up lied to you. Does that make the contract void or voidable? Does that make it void or voidable? So you signed to buy a red house. The house is not red, it's blue. Why is that not void? Why is that not void? Why is that voidable? I mean, they lied to you. The answer is very simple. You may like blue even better. Or hell, you may have had the ambitions of painting the whole thing yellow. Okay, you see on the board the word blockbusting. Blockbusting, panic peddling, panic selling are the same thing. They're basically all discriminating in an effort to get listings. It's when you say to somebody, you better list your house with me because those people are moving to town and you don't want to live by those people. Crime goes up, values go down. It's horrible. That's blockbusting, panic peddling, and panic selling. My question to you is, what act does that violate? So blockbusting, what does it violate? What act? The 1968 Fair Housing Act. Good job. Great job, Manuel. 1968 Fair Housing Act. The Fair Housing Act in 1968. And remember, guys, if we see 1968 on our exam, we're going to circle it. I don't care if it asks you how old you are, when your birthday was, or when you graduated high school. The answer is always 1968. You guys promise? 1968, 1968. Okay, now usury, somebody asked me about that. That's just charging unfair or unlawful amounts of interest when you make a loan. Very simply said, loan sharking. A legally enforceable right to make use of all or part of the property of another as a result of continuous and uninterrupted use of that property for a period of time as established by statute. A, easement appurtenant. B, easement by prescription. C, easement by necessity. Or D, easement by gross. B, easement by prescription. Good. All right. You guys like this early time? Gives you time to do stuff this Saturday. I like it. There's a fitness expo in my town today I'm going to be able to go to. I'm not a fitness person. I just like being around those people because I feel fit when I'm around them, even though I myself am not. Don't ask me why. I know my logic is totally backwards on that. Okay, so I switched to the flashcards here. This is our other way of learning vocabulary. So we did this question today, actually. So what's a mortgage broker? What's a mortgage broker? This is what we did before. One for fee brings together a borrower and a lender. So we want to describe these things using as few words as possible. Right, guys? Condemnation. What's that? Condemnation. It's the government's right to take the property in the process of eminent domain. Excellent. Where just compensation must be paid. Condemnation falls under eminent domain. Right, guys? Eminent domain is a government power. There are 3 other government powers. Can you tell me what they are? So there's 4 government powers in total. Eminent domain is one of those. What are the other 3? Jeopardy. I'd be a great Jeopardy host. Does Jeopardy even exist anymore? Is that guy still around? Okay, so it's police power, eminent domain, taxation, and escheat. Police power, eminent domain, taxation, and escheat. Alex Trebek is still doing Jeopardy. I don't think that guy's aged in like 30 years. He looks exactly the same. Okay, abstract of title. Abstract of title. Am I alone in that, guys? He looks exactly the same as he did like 20 years ago. Okay, this is another one we did before in our questions. An abstract is a summary. Abstract's a summary. By the way, these flashcards I'm doing right now work really well on your smartphone. So if you're online at the bank or the post office, or you're sitting at your kid's game when you're supposed to be watching, but we all know you're not, all right? You could use these flashcards on your phone. Okay, marginal tax rate. Marginal tax rate. Marginal tax rate. That is for the next dollar earned. Next dollar earned. So every once in a while we do these public webinars. That's why we have a lot of people here today. But in case you guys don't know, I do them 5 days a week. The other ones are only for our premium members. And in those, the chat is much smaller. So it's easier for me to respond to what you guys are writing in the chat because it's a much smaller group. And that's part of our premium membership. So they go 5 times a week. And when it's not public, it's a much smaller group. So it's easier for me to interact. In case you guys want to do more. Okay, a net listing, what is that? What is a net listing? It's when you ask for money above and beyond as designated price. When you ask for money above and beyond a designated price. A lot of you guys are writing illegal. I'm not sure why, because it's not the definition of it. And the answer to that about it being illegal depends on what state you're on. Some states it's legal, some states it's not, but in all states it's frowned upon. Okay? So when you see net listing, one of the answers on your exam is not going to be legal or illegal. They're going to want you to know the definition. Lots of things are illegal in your state, like blockbusting, what we went over today. But for some reason, whenever we write net listing, everybody writes illegal, illegal, illegal. And I'm not sure why you guys don't write that when I write blockbusting or something else. Or steering is illegal. Yeah, lots of things are illegal. And you got to know the definition of these things that are illegal. Narrative form appraisal report. Narrative form appraisal report. What do you guys think? Yes, redlining is also illegal. Narrative is the most comprehensive and detailed report. I'm just talking about that net listing because I don't want you guys stopping at, oh, I know it's illegal, therefore I know enough. I don't need to know more, when that's not the case. And I just see a lot of people make that mistake. They say, it's illegal, I don't need to know it, and that logic will really hurt you on your exam if all you know if it's legal or illegal. Okay, narrative appraisal report is the most comprehensive. Emblements. What are emblements? Who knows? Emblements are crops. Annual crops produced for sale are known as emblements. Good. Test date. What is test date? Test date is with a will. Intestate is without a will. Intestate is without a will. Escheat, what is escheat? Escheat, what is that? It's when your property goes to the state because there's nobody for your property will to. Void. What is void? Void. Void is a contract that lacks one of the four essentials. It's missing one of the four essential elements. Can you guys tell me what are the four essential elements? Can you guys tell me what are the four essential elements? Mutual consent, lawful object, consideration, capable parties. So dust and stud, that has to do with the four essential elements of value, not of a contract. Okay, that has to do with value, and that's scarcity, utility, transferability, and demand. Exclusive authorization and right to sell listing. Exclusive authorization and right to sell listing. That means if somebody comes in to buy the house, you get paid no matter what. You don't need to prove that you are the procuring cause of the buyer. That's the key word you want to remember. No procuring cause. No procuring cause is needed. You do not have to prove that you're the procuring cause of the buyer. I hope all you guys laid out your budget for after you pass, what you're going to need to get started. And you've spoken to brokers about the fees involved that they're going to require. Different brokerages have different fees. We should all be doing that research, whether it's buying business cards or membership fees, board of realtors, and you're gonna have to look at your own marketing cost. You guys should be putting together your marketing plan now before you pass, not after you pass. You're gonna execute that marketing plan after you pass. But you should be aware of what it's gonna cost and different fees. This is definitely not the business to go into if you're broke. You're going to need a little money to get things started. You're starting your own business, guys. You should be excited. Every business has some startup fees. Yes, after you get your first commission, you'll get that money back. So don't worry about spending money to get started. You'll make it back tenfold, but you do need some money to get it started. Okay, net lease. Net lease. What is a net lease? It's paying taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Does your standard residential lease use a net lease? Does your standard residential lease use a net lease? Your standard residential lease uses a gross lease. A gross lease. What's it called when the lessor is also the lessee? What is it called when the lessor is also the lessee? What is that called when the lessor is also the lessee? That's a sandwich lease, also known as a sublease. Good. Sandwich lease, also known as a sublease. And what's it called when your lease is based on a percentage of your gross receipts? What's that called when the amount you pay is based upon a percentage of your gross receipts? That would be a percentage lease. Good job, everybody. Good job. All right, guys, so that's it for today. We'll be sending out the schedule for next week. We'll be sending that out tomorrow, and I'll be posting on social media. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at PrepAgent and also the Real Estate Exam Study Group. We have the group and we have the page. You can also follow us on Instagram at prep_agent. And you can also follow me personally if you want to look. Just look up Joe Juter. That's my name. JoeJuter. You could find me on LinkedIn as well. Lots of places to find us. And don't forget, on Fridays, we have Agent School where we're going to talk about techniques to get your business off the ground. Okay, so we did one yesterday. I don't know if you guys attended. It went well. But we're constantly evolving to make that better because I do not just want to see you pass. I want to see you guys make money. The end goal here is not pass the exam. The end goal is making sure we all make money. Pass the exam is just a step towards that process. Okay? A step towards that goal, I should say. All right, guys. Remember, follow us on Facebook at PrepAgent and look up the group, the PrepAgent Real Estate Exam Study Group, and have a great day. And I'm off to my fitness expo to look at people more healthy than me. Have a great day, guys.